Hello everyone! Once again, we have another menu translation guide, this time for Mario's Super Picross. This is a follow-up to the Game Boy Mario's Picross title. Picross, I'm sure, needing no introduction.
Oh, Picross! Oh wait, that's a trademark of Nintendo, huh? Wait, so what's it actually called? Nonograms? Or wait.
Of course, if you need an explanation on how to play Picross, Nintendo of America actually published a pretty good tutorial video on their own channel, which I'll link to in a card up above and at the end of the video. As I'm sure you can guess, this game was originally only released in Japan. In Europe and Oceania, we've seen it many times on Virtual Console, but I'm told this is the first time this game has released in North America, so without further delay, let's jump right in and take a look. And of course, I'm sure you've already skipped over all of that exposition. Anyway, as you can see, much of the text in this game is already in English, or otherwise plainly readable, so this one is going to be quite a bit shorter than previous videos I've done. There are a few prompts in Japanese though, as well as some features that aren't well explained, so it's worth running through anyway. The text at the top is of course the game's logo, Mario no Super Picross, or Mario's Super Picross. Under Select a Level, the first option says How to Play, which is the game's tutorial. This option will present you with an animation and a whole lot of Japanese text. Thankfully, Nintendo actually translates this in their tutorial video, which makes my job a lot easier, and as such, I'll point you to that video rather than repeating it here. The other options are the various levels of play. Starting with level 1, the puzzles are smaller and easier ones, and things get more complicated the further up you go. There are 10 levels in all, as well as special and extreme levels for hardcore players. There are a total of 300 puzzles in this game, so there's a lot of value jam-packed in here. This is a typical puzzle selection screen, and it's all self-explanatory, I'm sure. A better way to word this might be select a puzzle. So this prompt is whether you want to use a hint. Nintendo's own tutorial translate this as use a hint? Yes, no. Selecting yes will start the hint roulette. Wherever the cursor stops will reveal the correct answer for that column and row. If you're struggling with a particular puzzle, there's no shame in using hints to help you through it. Once you're in game, the timer is displayed on the top left. Now would be a good time for me to mention that if you have a second controller hooked up, simply pressing any button will add a second cursor, allowing you to complete these puzzles with a friend. Considering that puzzles in this game can get as large as 25 by 20 blocks, having someone to play with can be a huge help in figuring out the tougher puzzles. And just like that, we have unearthed the hidden image. Translating the name of every single puzzle is perhaps a little out of the scope of this video, but hopefully you'll be able to figure out what most of these are. If not, the fan-run Super Mario Wiki has a translated list of all of them, which I'll link to in the description below. Complete an entire level of puzzles and Mario comes in with a few words of congratulations. First it says, "Congratulations," in both English and Japanese. Under that it says, the level 1 problems are all cleared, or alternatively, all level 1 puzzles have been cleared. I won't translate all the dialogue in this game, as it's all pretty straightforward like this, but this next one only plays when you beat the first level, and you have to know what he says here. He bows politely and goes on to say, "Unfortunately, you can now play Wario's Picross. Wow, Mario, harsh. It's a tough game, but please play it." Mario is referring here to the Wario's Picross mode, featuring an additional 10 plus levels of puzzles, but the timer instead counts up from 0 and you're not notified when you make a mistake. Effectively, it's this game's hard mode. You select Wario mode by pressing left on the level select screen. Amusingly, this one character that flies across the screen changes the logo from Mario's Super Picross to Wario's Super Picross. And I think that just about covers the menu navigation in Mario's Super Picross. For how to play and basic tips to help you through a puzzle, I shall point you to Nintendo's own official tutorial video, as well as the Super Mario Wiki, a fan-made resource for all things Mario. Happy puzzling, everyone! If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little bit helps me bring more of these kinds of videos to you. And of course, like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I've done many translations on Panel Dupont and Super Puyo Puyo 2 as well, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more games to come. I also do reviews and retrospective of all sorts of classic and obscure games, so be sure to check those out. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope to catch you next time.